Hey there, Derek Allen here, and in this video I just wanted to answer some of the most frequently asked questions from the How to Build a Real Online Business That Makes $1,000 This Month with Nothing But Hard Work and Hustle video. That is a mouthful. But anyway, a couple things before we get started. First off, thank you so much to everyone who has sent me such wonderful emails thanking me for the video. People that have never responded to an email for years of being on my list have actually approached me and thanked me for this and reached out to me, and that's what this is all about. So that's really motivated me to keep doing awesome stuff like this for you guys. So thanks to everyone for tossing out the love my way, if you will. Second, I apologize it took so long to make this video because I gave everyone like 24 hours to submit their questions, but to be honest, I was getting them for quite a while because, look, I understand not everybody's in the same time zone. Not everyone opens the emails at the same time or the day that you send it. So that's cool with me, but what I've done here in this video is I've compiled a couple of the most frequently asked questions, the questions that people asked the most. I've compiled these up into this video. I'm going to answer those questions in depth, in detail, because it seems like quite a number of you guys had the same sort of questions. And for everyone else who asked a question, I actually personally replied to those emails to answer those questions for you if they weren't going to be in this video. So if you're looking for a reply from me, check your inbox and it should be there. Otherwise, the answer to your question is going to be in this video. So let's go ahead and dive in. We got some stuff to cover and no time to waste. Here we go. Okay, so the first question that I got, and this seemed to be a recurring thing, was in the video I talked about sending your prospective clients a proposal through Google Docs. And this thing is just meant to be something that where you can sort of showcase your expertise and give people a little help right up front, just to sort of, show them what you're talking about and you're good at what you do. And also by giving people value right up front, not asking for money immediately, it's just a good thing. People respond to that much better than, hey, send me all this money and I can do this and that for you. You know what I mean? So by sending out these proposals via Google Docs, it's absolutely free. It takes nothing to do. And if you're in the same sort of niche or, you're going after the same group of people, then you don't really have to change your proposal too much because I told you to pick one thing you were good at. So this should be the thing that you're trying to help people with. So all you have to do is change the name on the proposal. And sitting in front of you right now is sort of an example. Now this is an actual proposal that I wrote, excluding the name. So I figured I could use this as an example for you guys as well. So this is kind of what it looks like, and this is it. But what should you put in yours? Now, it's all going to be different depending on what you're offering. This is for a video traffic optimization plan, not video SEO, but the person that I was talking to actually wanted a plan that they could use to get more traffic from their videos to their squeeze pages to build their list. And that's what their overall goal is just to build that list so that they can actually, have this list of prospects or even list of customers, somebody they can communicate with on demand and hopefully close some sales. Right? So this is exactly what this person wanted. So the first thing that I put in these things is the goal, the overall goal. Now what you're going to find is when you start to contact these people, you already know in your mind what you can help them with, and then you're asking them for help. So you could just link this document up in their email after you've done a little research and scouting out exactly what the thing is that you can help them with. And then the overall goal for the most part, what people want to accomplish, depending on whatever it was that you picked that you were good at, right? So what I do is I like to include a goal. Now, in this case, the goal is just the overall thing that you can do that's going to help them get more of what they want. Okay, so in this case, it was this person wanted more clicks from their videos to go to their squeeze page. So the goal for this is to evaluate the videos that get the most traffic based around the most popular topics that they've created for their own videos, create more videos like those, and then rank them on the first page of Google for more targeted traffic. And that's going to result in more people having an opportunity to subscribe to their email list by way of the opt-in page, thus having opportunity for site name to build a larger following and sell more products. That's the overall goal of this person after talking with them and looking at their site and stuff like that. That's what I've determined. So I sent this plan over there, and that's pretty much, that's just pretty much it for the goal. You just want to, kind of put in something that you can help them with that's going to get X results. Okay. Then we want to establish a baseline. Now, this is just sort of the plan that you would implement for them. So if you are running the service, but you don't have a client yet, that's okay. All you have to do is kind of, sit down, figure out what it is that you want to offer and how you would do it. Just take the things that you're good at and that you do every day and put it on paper in the exact order that you would do it. Okay. So the next thing that I go about in this proposal is I want to establish a baseline for my client. So what does that mean? I want to establish a baseline. I want to see where their business is now. What is going on with their videos? Where's the traffic coming from? What are more people finding in Google and YouTube searches? And all that's based on the analytics. So what I want to do is I'm going to get into the analytics and find their most popular videos determined by the number of views, thumbs up, comments from the past 6 months to understand what kind of topics and content their desired target market responds to the most. And that's where I say, find what people like and then create more of that. Then I want to discover their exact demographic by way of YouTube analytic information, to find out male, female, parts of the world, where they're coming from. That will allow this person to craft their videos and their message in their videos to be more tight-knit and relatable by their viewers. So it gets more people to bond with this person in their videos, and it gets people more likely to trust them or want more information from them, thus gets them from the video to the squeeze page and helps them build a list. Okay, so that's the baseline. I want to know where they're at now by taking a look at their data or setting, if you're doing sales copy, take a look at their numbers beforehand and just kind of see where they stand and how much of an increase you can help people with. The baseline, though, once you're providing the services, is going to determine what steps you need to take next. Okay, and that's where we get into things to test. Now, the things to test, we don't really know anything to test at this point until we get our baseline results back. But we can sort of guess, right? If you're good at what you do, you should know what's going to work and what doesn't work. So things to test to get visitors from the video to opt-in page in this instance is just, I list 4 or 5 things now. Maybe it's not all the things that I'll offer or all the things that I'll do for them, but I can give them an idea. Now, this isn't for you. This is for them. This is for them to look at and get an understanding of where you're coming from and to showcase your expertise and your knowledge of the subject or topic and the service that you want to provide. Okay, so I just put, 4 or 5 different things that you can test. Maybe it's something that they aren't doing, but you take a look at their website or whatever it is you're going to do, and you say, well, they're not doing this, but I know that this is going to work. Then you list that down. Okay. And then what I like to do is at the end, I like to give them some things that they can try now to increase clicks or to increase something, to get some kind of desired outcome from their efforts, things that they can do now. This could be easy things, this could be difficult things, it's kind of up to you, but this is kind of the part where we want to give them some value, right? Even if they don't hire us, we want to leave them with a good taste in their mouth from their experience in dealing with us. So we want to give them some things that either, they could do themselves that's going to get them an instant bump, or something that we could do for them if they decide to hire us. Now, what's going to happen here is 2 things. Maybe they don't have the money to hire you right now. Maybe they don't trust you at this point. So by giving them some things that they can do now in their business to get them some sort of instant result, and we're providing this much value up front, well, if they actually take this information and they go and implement our tips or our strategies or whatever it is that we gave them to do, and they see a result, a positive result from these tips, well, what do you think that's going to do? What do you think is going to go on in their mind? Well, they're going to instantly recognize that you know what you're talking about, that you're the expert, that what you say works. And then guess what? Well, if they didn't trust you before, now they do. If they didn't think that you knew what you were talking about before, now they do. If they still don't have the money to hire you, though, maybe they will in the future. But either way, this is just going to say, you know what? Here's what I know. This is what you can do. They get results, and if they didn't want to hire you before, this is what kind of opens that door for that to happen. Okay, and then I just sign off. Like, you could add as much as you want to. If you think something else needs to be added to this, then you can add to, you can take away, does not matter. All right, so, and at the end of that, I just sign off, and then I include my contact information, and this is what I email to them. Pretty simple, right? Nothing hard about it. Nothing hard about it at all, especially if you found that one thing you're good at and you know you're good at it, then this is a piece of cake for you. Okay, so that's just kind of what I do. All right, and that's kind of what the proposal looks like that I say to send to them. All right, so that is that question answered. Bam. All right, so a couple people wanted a more detailed plan outside of like internet marketing. Okay, and this is kind of where this gets a little bit tough. Like, yes, you could take this outside of into other niches outside of internet marketing. You can take this outside into the local scene, but really, this method is designed for people, or the service you provide should be designed for people who have websites or are trying to start an online business or are trying to do something online to get traffic, or maybe it's PPC, maybe it's video SEO, website conversion optimization, whatever it is. That's really what this is designed to serve. And the reason that is because everyone knows something about that, and especially if you're a subscriber of mine, and you can really charge pretty decent money to be an expert in one field or another and serve these online businesses. And that's why it's designed for that. But I did have a couple questions of people asking if this would work outside of the IM niche, like serving other niches, offering your services in other niches. And the short answer there is yes, it will, but it'll be a little bit more hustle. Okay, so I designed this whole thing for you to be able to go out, find a service in the internet marketing niche, find one thing in the internet marketing that you're good at, and then go out and offer that as a service to other marketers. It doesn't matter what niche they're in, just so long as they have like an online business doing something, right? But if you're the type of person who wants to take this outside, then the principles stay the same. The whole method and all the 4 steps stay the same, just how you do your research sort of changes. So let's just say that, for an example, you are in the dog niche, right? The dog training niche. Now, I know that's a cliche example and it's severely overused, but it's something everyone can relate to, right? So that's what we're going to use. I mean, not saying you're a dog trainer, but you've probably, have seen this used as an example many times before. So that's what we're going to go with. So let's just say you have a dog training product, right? And let's just say your product teaches people how to housebreak a puppy, which is a process that I'm going through right now. Got my son a miniature Dachshund, and the thing is just, I don't know, tough to train, tough to potty train. It seems like it likes to, go behind my back and pee in the floor. And I don't really appreciate that. So maybe that's something I should look into a little bit more research. But anyway, what we would do is we type into Google how to housebreak a puppy. And then what we would do is we would just start going through articles. Okay? Going through these different articles. You can use the big name websites or whatever, as long as they have a ton of shares and stuff like that. That's fine. Let's check this one out. I don't see any share buttons at all. Oh yeah, I do. They just popped up. So it's got 114 tweets. So, maybe when we want to contact these people who are obviously in the market for some advice, on how to housebreak a puppy. That's why they came here. So what I would do is I would just simply take this article URL, go over here to Topsy, pop that in there, and then look at the tweets. So all these people here are just the normal standardized tweeters, people who shared the article, right? So in this instance, our dog training product is a consumer item, right? It's something that you would want to sell to people, not necessarily businesses. So instead of going to the influential only tab and looking at this stuff, which you can still do, what I would do is I would just stick to I would go through both tabs, is what I'm trying to get at here. I would go through both tabs. Obviously, I wouldn't go through Caesar here because this dude owns the blog, right? So he's the expert himself. But maybe I would go through all these people and all these people, and now you have 60 prospects who might buy your digital product, right? And then you could just continue on going down the line at every site and sort of building up this big list, and you'll have all kinds of people to contact to help them in some way or another, or get them to buy your product. And that's kind of how I would do it, outside of IM. It's sort of a traffic generation strategy as well. It's a little bit more off the beaten path than what I had originally explained, because this is going to be a little bit more harder to sell people on buying something right away. And most of these people might even be experts themselves, just sharing an article. So, you're going to have to do your due diligence there, make sure that they're just regular people looking for advice, and, they're not experts sharing this stuff, because this, like I said, goes off the beaten path from providing a service to other online businesses and such. So, take that for what you will, but that's how I would use it if I wanted to go outside of the IM niche and get into other things. Now, if you're someone who's like a coder and programming pretty well, this would work great for you. Just stick to the service side like I just showed, but you could go off the beaten path and look for stuff like that. But that would be something you already realized that you were good at, and things like that. So, take that for what you will, use it, alter it, whatever you need to do. Okay, so the next question I got was sort of similar to this one, but it was about local. Like how I mentioned in the video that you could use this for local. And while you can do it, it's a little bit more difficult, just similar to this. I mean, because it's going to be harder for you to find articles and that people have tweeted about and contacting them about. So let's just say, for an example, you're a local consultant. Maybe you do website design or optimization or video marketing or pay-per-click marketing or whatever it is that you found out you were good at. So what I would do to break into the local scene here and find clients who are looking to market their business locally and provide their services but need a little help, what I would do is I would go up to Google, and then I would type in whatever industry you're involved in, or whatever your ideal client would be in the offline scene. Maybe it's plumber, maybe it's lawyer, maybe it's chiropractor, dentist, car dealership, whatever it is. I would type that here first. But plumber is kind of the hardest one, so I put that up here. And then I would follow that by marketing blog. All right, and then what I would do is I would just kind of go down the list again, and similar to what we did here with the dog training thing, I would just find articles that, let's see here. That's got some kind of audio on it, and I don't feel like dealing with that. So let's go right here. This is what we'll do. All right, so this person, they have a podcast, Plumbing Marketing Profit. So if they have a podcast, good chance they have a little following or whatever. So who would be the ideal reader for this particular kind of blog? It would be plumbers looking to better market their business, whether that's online or off, right? So if you're someone who wants to service plumbers, help them get their websites off the ground, whatever the case is, then whoever comments or tweets this out would be, a really good candidate for your service business, right? But what I'm essentially looking for are, specific how-to posts, not stories about people who did something amazing. I want specific how-to posts, because if you find, I already clicked on that. If you find a specific how-to post in a market full of people who want to do it, that means they kind of maybe want to do it themselves, or maybe they're looking for something in particular, and that would be your ideal thing to look for. Let's find something. Here's something at the bottom. Let's see. Hopefully it has something. Importance of having a mobile friendly website. Let's see if they've got anything here. So what I would do is, if I'm in local, this is essentially, for time's sake, let's just kind of skip ahead and let's just say that this was a really good article. So what I would do is I'd take the URL of this article, go back to Topsy, pop it in, and there's no results found, but just let's pretend that there was a couple of tweets. Someone shared this on their Twitter account. So what I would do then is I would kind of visit each one and then find their website and their contact information. I'll contact each plumber or whatever it was. Make sure they're plumbers, though. Don't contact marketing agencies who help plumbers. Make sure they're actual plumbers, and that's pretty easy to do, because whenever you get to Twitter, if they have their website there, you click it. If it's a plumbing website where they're trying to offer their services, then it makes it pretty easy to find out who you need to be dealing with, right? So then you would just click over their website, find their contact information, send them the proposal and the email and all that other stuff, introduce yourself, and then start the relationship building process from there, and hopefully they hire you to do something. Okay, so that's kind of how you can break into the local scene. Again, it's not as easy as providing a service to other online businesses, but it can be done. It just takes a little bit more hustle, a little bit more hard work. And if you're involved in a local scene, this is a good way to search for business for free. But again, it's a little bit more time consuming, but hopefully you'll be able to find some pretty decent paying customers who you love to work with. Okay, so the next question I got, I don't really have like a site that I can show you. So we'll just click on over to here. Was upsells. A lot of people were asking me questions, after they buy an initial service from you, how do you upsell them to other things? And I understand that it can be a little bit more difficult, because you've discovered this one thing that you're really good at. So how can you sort of upsell them to other things? And maybe the person that you're dealing with isn't as technical as you are. Like, maybe they pay people to do everything for them, which I've ran into several people like that. So what are you supposed to upsell them on? If you found this one thing you're good at, it's going to be hard to come up with an upsell. Yes, you could branch out and do all these other things that you know how to do, but if it's not the one thing that you love to do or that you're really, really good at, I would kind of shy away from that. So instead, what I would do is I would set up like a continuity system, right? Where like every month you'll go in or you'll keep testing different elements. If you're doing website conversion, like every month you'll go in, you'll run a few specific tests, and what you'll do is you'll just continue to monitor their site and their conversions, and you would go in and run different tests every month and try to find a couple different things you can improve on while they pay you every month to do that. So it'd be better for you to actually do that as opposed to try to sell them on something else, because you've done a couple things then. You've actually locked them into a contract with you to pay you month after month. Whether you do 3 tests or no tests or whatever, they're going to pay you regardless of what you're doing. Obviously, if they're paying you, do something for them. Don't do nothing, but that's the point. So just try to find a way that you can wiggle in to offer them the monthly continuity, like recurring revenue stream for you in exchange for your services, for you to continue working on their projects for them, whatever it is that you decided to do. Okay, so instead of trying to upsell them on a different service, something that you know how to do, but but don't love or not a complete expert in, offer the continuity programs or the retainer programs. Like, get people to put you on retainer to do this for their site for a specific number of months until their website's running perfectly, or they're ranking a ton of videos, or their videos are just pulling clicks like crazy, or you're monitoring their Facebook PPC accounts to make sure that their ad spend is going, being stretched and it's getting tons of results. That is sort of my best advice for that. Okay, and a couple of people asked me some like, what do we do after the sale? So after the sale kind of questions. The big thing I got was like, how do we provide the service? And, there's no way that I can actually answer that, but in my video, I do remember saying, get the client first, then figure out how you're going to provide the service. And I still hold that true. So you want to sit down and sort of get a skeleton diagram sort of made up, a piece of paper and a pen, get a skeleton diagram made up of how you would offer this service, because I can't stress enough, if you pick this one thing that you're good at and you're good at it, you should know how to do it like the back of your hand. So I know I could sort of sense the fear in some of these emails, like, oh my gosh, what do I do if I don't have this plan? But the thing that I would hate to see happen is if you sat down and, made up all these like huge plans on how you would execute your service and how you would run through this, that, and the other, and you just had pages and pages and pages and hours of time spent, on exactly how you would offer this, how you're going to sell it, position yourself, actually perform the services, and then you run through all this and no one ever buys anything. That's why I always think it's like, man, you go through this process of finding your first paying client. All right? If nobody ever buys from you, then you've just spent a couple hours of your time, right? Without having to sit down and figure out how you're going to provide the service. But if someone does buy from you, that validates your idea. Validation is huge because now you know that people are actually willing to pay for this service. So if you've got your first paying customer, that's why I say now you've got your first paying customer, now figure out how to perform the service. And again, if you're an expert at it, you know how to do this stuff, it should be easy for you to do that, right? With the proposal sent out and all this stuff, and then, now you've got people paying you money. It's validated. You perform that service for that client the first time, figure out all the ins and outs on how you're doing it, make notes of what you're doing and the processes you're running and, the other different things. And then once you finish the work for that one particular client, you can move on now because the idea that you had is now validated. You got a paying customer. So if that one person paid you, then someone else is going to pay you as well. Hopefully you find many other people to pay you. And then since you performed the work for that one person, you figured it out as you went along. Now you have a plan that you can run through for every new paying customer you get. And that's sort of like what I would do. If I was in your shoes. That's what I did, and I still do that to this day. I really rarely get started working on anything without validation first. I figure out if people want something from me first before I start to work on anything. I figure out, if people pay me money for something, then I'll start to work on it. That's kind of how I run my business because you're saving yourself time that way. Because there's a lot of times that I've ran through stuff, had these brilliant ideas, made these just elaborate outlines and, diagrams and all this stuff and all these plans on how I would do this stuff. And then I went in to actually see if people were interested in it, and they weren't. I've done that multiple times, but I've learned my lesson. Get your first paying client first, then figure out what to do. Then after that, everything's in place. Your idea is validated, and you're going to make more money on the back end. That is about all. That's all the questions that I had, like the FAQs, the most frequently asked questions. So that's it, man. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. And again, if I spawned any more questions in your head from this video, then, simply send me an email. And again, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. I probably won't make another video. I'll probably just personally answer your questions via email. But with that said, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope that you take the information that I've shared with you and you run with it and you get started and you block out all the clutter, unless it's from me, of course. Duh, right? And you get started with this and you put it to work. And again, if you get results here and you use this and you get results, which I'm sure if you use it, you will get results, please share them with me, guys. I want to share in your victories with you. And that warms my heart, and it really, again, motivates me to keep going. The thank you emails and, people emailing me telling me it's like better training than they've paid for all year, and those kind of emails, those are awesome. They put a big fat smile on my face, but what makes me even happier is hearing results. So if you get results, send them to me. I won't take up much more of your time today. I know you're probably excited to get started on some of this stuff, so I'm just going to sign off. And again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. We'll talk to you soon.